Hi, everybody. My name is Buddy Gott. Welcome to episode 35 of Buddy's Writing Show. On tonight's show, I'm very happy to have with me a return guest to the show, my friend, author Michael Ronn. Welcome back, Michael.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for having me back. Great to be here.
Oh, thanks a lot. It's great to have you here, my friend. I wanted Michael to come on the show because Michael has a brand new book just came out this week, right,
Yes,
Michael?
this past weekend.
Yeah, and it's well, Michael, it's called Eaton, and I'll let Michael describe it for you guys because I think it's pretty awesome.
Okay, well, yeah, the book is it's the first in a series, and it's called Eaten, and it is about a group of vegetable terrorists attempting to take down an empire of processed foods. So,
That is
yeah,
fantastic. That is fantastic. And if people look at Michael's right next to Michael's name there, you're going to see that he's got this little icon of the character who's on the cover of the book. And actually, let me see if I can bring that up here for you guys. I don't know how well that shows on here, but it's
that's
this
it.
broccoli dude. It's this broccoli dude with knives in his hand. I mean, how
Yeah,
awesome is that? That is the coolest cover ever. I love it.
thank you. Yeah, that's my main character, Brock. So,
Brock, the perfect, perfect. Now, so this one now, I know you've got it. There, it's going to be. This is season one that you release, but people can also get episode one of this season separately right now, right? Or they can. How do you have that set up?
well, I have basically the complete first season is episodes 1 through 3, and
Hmm.
that's available on Amazon. For 99 cents through the end of this weekend. Normal price is $4.99. But for people that don't know me yet or would like to give it a shot, I have episode 1 for free, and that's free at all the major retailers. So Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Google, you name it. It's also on my site for free. So.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. And you described what it's about. Now, how did that idea come to you? Because it is really unique, and I know you have a good story for this.
Yeah, this it's interesting because Eaton is in many ways it's my origin story as an author. Back in 2012, I ate some bad food. Ended up in the hospital with a serious illness. I won't go into what it was, but basically I was in the hospital in and out for about a month and
Wow.
lost like 50 pounds. I was really sick, and it turns out that it could have been fatal. I could have
Oh
died.
man. Phew.
And yeah, it's pretty bad. And when I was laying on the hospital bed, you really start to think about your life, and you start to think about what's important, what your priorities are, what you want to do with the rest of your life when you get out. And up until that point, I had written things, and I wanted to be a writer, wanted to be a poet specifically, and that didn't work out. I hadn't really had anything that was complete. I did the time. I was diligent in writing, but just didn't have anything published, and that was my eventual goal. And that really lit a fire to get me going
Yeah. Oh,
because,
yeah, something like that. Yeah, that can. Boy, that's a big game changer there.
oh yeah, I mean, you don't want to. I mean, at least for me, I know a lot of authors probably would say the same thing, but I don't want to leave this earth without having something of a legacy, And
Hmm.
so I decided that that was the time. That was my lowest point as an author, and it can only get better. And so I committed to learning the craft of writing, to be serious about publishing, learn as much as I absolutely could, and I started writing stories. And I got better as I went along, and decided to publish my first book in 2014. But there was this idea when I was in the hospital. It's funny because I couldn't eat solid food, so they had me on like a liquid diet, and um, I
Oh
was
wow.
taking these painkillers because I was in so much pain, and I started actually having hallucinations. And one of the hallucinations I had was a giant 6 foot tall talking cheeseburger appeared in my hospital room,
Oh wow.
yeah, trying to get me to escape. And yeah, so we busted out of the hospital and had a good time, but that's not the point of the interview. Uh, I eventually got out of the hospital, and I healed, but I never forgot that cheeseburger. There was just like
Right.
this idea of talking food, and it just seemed so utterly ridiculous and ludicrous, but I just couldn't. It just wouldn't escape me. And eventually, I started thinking about, well, what if I had a talking cheeseburger in a story? What if
Right.
I gave personalities to different vegetables and things like that? And at the same time, I was dealing with high cholesterol, and as an African American, I'm disposed to it, and learning how to eat right. And so Eaton was born as a way for me to try to figure out my way through this strange new world of learning how to eat right. And
Wow.
it's kind of childish, right? You know, you just describe vegetables as characters, but it was
I
kind of
think
my
it's
way to kind
awesome.
of figure things out, you know?
It's awesome. Now you mentioned childish, which I don't think it is at all. I mean, first of all, thank goodness you came out of everything okay.
Oh,
'Cause it
yeah.
sounds like you went through hell there, and I hope you're not seeing any more talking cheeseburgers. I hope you're not.
No, no, I'm not, unless I'm writing Eaton.
Right.
I
Hey.
did work that cheeseburger into Eaton, so that's fine.
Well, what I wanted to ask you was, now this story, how would you categorize it in terms of like appropriate ages for this? Would it be a book for all ages then?
I there's some mild profanity in it, and there's some mild violence. So I'd probably say 18 and up.
Oh,
But
okay.
young adults would enjoy it as well. I mean, I was my editor actually was asking me questions about this. She's like, what do you think the age group would be? And I'm like, well, I think it could be a YA title. I mean, the characters aren't YA, but a lot of the YA that is out there is way more grislier and violent compared to my book.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. There's some wild
pretty.
stuff out there for
So
YA.
yeah, I think that it would also have an appeal to YA as well.
Yeah.
So
I
YA.
just, I keep looking at Brock on next year name, and I just love his picture. Hey, you got something exciting going on. You've also, aside from the fact that you have this out as an ebook, and I believe you also have it out as a. Do you have it out as a paperback already too?
Yes,
Okay.
paperback went out today.
Yeah. Well, before we started the show, you presented an idea, something we've never done here on Buddy's Writing Show, and that was to do a giveaway
That's
related to
right.
your book. And you want to tell the viewers what you have in mind here, because I love it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a night of first, right?
It's a
So,
first. Yes. Thank you.
yeah. Well, I have the Eaton Season 1 audiobook coming out at the end of this month, and it's being narrated by Anthony Bianco, who is a awesome, awesome narrator. I found him on Audible, and he just killed it. He did an audition, and it's amazing. He's got a theater background. He's Shakespeare trained. He's got this amazing voice, and he's really bringing it to life in ways that I never thought possible.
Oh
So
wow.
we're going to have the audiobook ready by the end of this month. And so for tonight, what I'm going to do is give away 3 free codes of the audiobook when it launches to any commenter. I'm just going to pick them at random, but in the comments, just leave your favorite vegetable.
There you go.
Just leave your favorite vegetable in the comments, and you can win a free audiobook.
There you go. All right. So, yeah. So do that, folks. Leave those in the comments. You don't have to be a live viewer to do that. And if you're watching
Nope.
the show later, leave that, and then Michael will pick that later on. And I'll on the next Buddies Ready show, I'll announce the winners for that.
Awesome. Yeah, and
And
I'll pick the winners at the end of the day tomorrow. That way, we probably got listeners in the UK and Australia who probably aren't with us tonight, so they'll have
right.
a chance to compete too.
That's fantastic. So do that, folks. Write down your favorite vegetables, and I love that. And now this is your second audiobook you have out, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
What's
it's
the
my
other one?
second audiobook. The first one is of my short story collection, Reconciled People, that was out back in March, and that's narrated by Lori Fiella. She's also an actress, accomplished actress, and that's available on Audible right now.
Oh, fantastic! I know my fiance Lisa Stull. She had listened to that and she loved it. Matter of fact, she's actually gonna have the same narrator for one of her books pretty soon. So that's fantastic. Audiobooks are just great. I mean, that's something
Oh, yeah.
that I know like in years past, you had books on tape and even on CD, and I know they had their following, popular, of course. But I think now with just the way things are with technology, you're seeing a big growth again. I keep talking to more and more people that are into audiobooks,
Right.
so it's wonderful. Another great avenue for people to get their work out there.
Yeah, I mean, people are in the car every day going to work or going to the gym, and it's a great time to capitalize on that time. There are a lot of people out there that really are more receptive to it than they've ever been.
Exactly, exactly. Well, fantastic. I wish you luck. Eaton. Well, I showed you. I've got it on my Kindle. I'm very anxious to start reading that. And I want to talk about some of your other works. Now, you mentioned a little while ago how you wanted to make sure you left a legacy. And I'll tell you, pal, you're on your way to leaving quite a legacy, because you just published at the beginning of this year, and let's peruse your Amazon.com page here. You've got quite a bit going on. You had mentioned Reconciled People, which is a collection of your stories. One thing that you've put out since you were on the show back in the spring, you've got a book of poems, Call
Yes.
Back from the Muse, correct?
Yes. Yep, that was my birthday gift to myself this year. I published a collection of poems that I had written a couple of years ago, back when I wanted
Okay.
to be a poet full time. So
Oh, that's
a lot of fun.
fantastic. Do you still do some poetry? I mean, is
I
it
do.
something you? Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I'm actually working on a poetry collection now that will tie into the Eaton universe, narrated by a
Really?
vegetable poet. Yeah, so
Oh, I love
trying
that.
to trying to do something a little different with it. I still love poetry. That's how I got my start. Um,
Mhm.
I owe a lot of my style and my writing style and my voice to my early days in poetry. Just trying to be evocative and try to create imagery with your words, and you learn a lot when you write poetry, and you can bring it
Yeah,
to life.
I've tried it, and you know, it's something I should probably try again because I don't know I had a hard time with it. I used to write songs stuff all the time, and yeah, you do it does help with your other writing. It's pretty cool. I did, like I said, you've got fantastic covers for your book. So I already showed Eaton. Callback from the Muse is great. Oh, Festival of Shadows. You mentioned that earlier in the show too. I know we talked about it on our previous show, but since that's a big work of yours, can you tell the viewers what that's about?
Yeah, Festival of Shadows is about a teddy bear who has to rescue his owner from the boogeyman and also face his own self doubt along the way. And so it's a decision select novel where you follow the adventures of Theo. He's the teddy bear, and he's in this nightmare dimension where there are all these strange toys, and he has to navigate his way through this strange world in order to find his best friend.
That is
So,
awesome. That is awesome. And yeah, you got this like badass looking teddy bear on the front of the book there. I just love. The first time I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, that's one of the best covers I've ever seen in my life. It's great. And
thank you.
another decision select novel you have is How to Be Bad.
Yep, that was my very first novel. That's How to Be
Hmm.
Bad, and that is about a woman who has to, accidentally gets into a deal with a demon and has to steal the souls of three innocent people to break the contract.
Oh, I love that. That is great.
So it's kind
And
of quirky humor.
I love quirky stuff. And I noticed one here, Michael. Staff meeting.
Yeah, that's a short story that I wrote. That was
Okay.
originally Reconciled People, but I took it out at the last minute because it's basically a chat room transcript in the style of a play. So
Oh, okay.
it's kind of a unique format. It's basically a couple of forum moderators get together to rip on the chief moderator who's not there, and some strange things
Okay.
happen during their conversation. So
Oh,
that's
nice.
it's a lot of fun. It's different. If you're into chat rooms or if you've ever been in forums, you'll identify with some of the humor in the story.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure so many people would be able to relate to that. Hey, one thing I just see neat is here you have an Italian edition out of Festival of Shadows, huh?
Yes, I do. I actually it just went out last month.
Oh, okay.
Did a
I'm
deal with
not even going to attempt to pronounce the title of it. I'm looking, Il Festival. Well, I guess I am attempting it.
yeah.
Il Festival del Tenebre.
Yeah, however you say it. I
Yeah,
just speak
yeah. I'm
Spanish,
not
so I'm not
sure.
sure how it would be pronounced in Italian. Il Festival de Tenebre. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool though. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. The great translator, Valeria Presti. She really loved the story, and she approached me and wanted to do a deal, and we did that. And she did a great job with translating it. And yeah, it's available in the Italian markets now, and some promotion is going to be going on here pretty soon. So it'll be interesting to see how it does, because you always hear about how foreign markets are the next big thing. You hear
Yeah,
about
that's true.
audiobooks and how foreign markets are just now starting to get Kindles, and ebooks are just starting to take off there. So just
Yeah.
trying to stay ahead of the curve and see
Right.
what happens.
That's exciting. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it has been. It just keeps growing and growing. Like you said, more and more countries are getting the Kindle now, and it's great. We do have some comments here. Everyone who's watching the show live, appreciate it, and I'm sure Michael appreciates it too.
Definitely.
This is from a fella. I don't know if you're aware of him. His name is Patrick Stemp.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, and he says, "I so want to say Stephen Hawking, but I guess I'll go with carrots. Yeah, carrots. Now I won't go to hell because I totally didn't say Stephen Hawking.
Way to keep it PC, Patrick.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
funny enough, there actually is a carrot in Eton, and he's the king of the vegetable kingdom, King Carrodias.
oh, King Carrot. Oh, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Um, Patrick Stamp, actually, I was going to bring him up. You and Patrick actually co-host a show together on here on YouTube. It's called the TBR podcast, the To Be Read podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And
Patrick
you,
Stimp and I, and then Jamie Maltman is our new co-host as well.
yeah, I was going to ask you. I knew you had a new co-host there. That's great. That's great. For those who don't know, basically, well, Michael, why don't you tell them about that too?
Yeah, well, the TBR podcast is we broadcast Tuesday nights, and we talk about books that we're reading. So all three of us are indie authors, but we also believe that it's important to also read books and to talk about them. And so we just pick books by indie authors, traditional authors. Really, there's no one that we won't read, and we try to pick the best books that we can. And we all have different backgrounds. So Patrick and Jamie, they like science fiction and a lot of different things like that, and I tend to be more of a fantasy reader, and so does Jamie. So our interests overlap, but we also have different things. So I found a lot of books that I would not have found otherwise just by my friendship with those two, and it's been pretty awesome.
That is awesome. And you guys will often have sort of a theme for that. I mean, I know you talk about what you read, but then you'll have like a theme for some episodes as well,
Yeah.
right? Like talk about classics and different things.
Yeah, we do themes every week. So, wow, the topic this past week we talked about author reviews, and how to write reviews or how we view them. And we had Garrett Robinson on to talk about that. And
oh wow, I got to check that out. Garrett Robinson, he's a friend of the show, and he's a very good writer himself.
Yeah, it was a great episode, and we just talk about things that relate to readers, because there's so many podcasts out there that talk about writers and they approach writers from a writer perspective, but readers are the heartbeat of the industry, and we're all readers ourselves. We wouldn't be authors if we didn't read.
Exactly. So that's the thing. We just fell in love with reading. That got us to that other step. And
it's our first love. So.
Yeah, and that could be found. Is it tbrpodcast.com?
Yep, tbrpodcast.com, and we broadcast Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern.
Okay, and I'm going to have a link for that. Anyone who's watching this live, I obviously don't have it down there yet, but there's going to be a link for those who see it later for like Michael's page, which is at michaelleron.com, right?
Yep.
Okay, TBR podcast, and also Michael's Amazon page. And I did want to go to another comment here. Thanks for commenting, folks. I really appreciate it. Xavier Granville says, everything about Eaton just screams awesome. And I should know, I wrote Dinosaur Noir.
Yeah, kindred spirit.
That's right. Xavier, he's got the book coming out pretty soon. It's called Dinosaur Noir. He's going to come on the show and talk about that at the time. But he's right. Oh my God, Eaton! What a great, wonderful, unique idea. When I was posting about the show earlier, I was saying, it was unique, cool idea. My fiance Lisa, she has already started, and she was telling me about something about French fries. There were are there guards that are French fries or something like that?
Yeah,
I don't want you to give away too much, but I just heard it. Oh my God, this is great.
I won't give away too much, but the story takes place in a futuristic metropolis called New Eden, and everything is made out of food, and it's inhabited by humans and then processed foods, and the military there, the armed guards, are all French fries, so they're called fry guards. Yeah.
I love it. Well, I'm going to start that tonight. I'm really excited about that. And I want to see if is there any of your works that I missed, Michael? Oh, I did want to say too that you mentioned the Decision Select novels, Festival of Shadows, and also How to Be Bad. You have them combined too in a collection.
Yes, I have the Decision Select box set, which basically just combines both of the novels. So instead of getting one, you can get two for the not for the price of one, but it's about a 25% savings. So I priced that at $5.99. So you can kind of have a choose your own adventure extravaganza.
Awesome.
One quest with a teddy bear and one quest that's an urban fantasy quirky humor.
Right, awesome a lot, but damn it, there's a whole lot of awesomeness going on here. I mean, I'm really excited for you. You've put out so much. You're all over the place with the things you put out this year. The poetry. We got Eaton and the teddy bear, and I'm gonna say it again. Awesome, Michael. You're doing great. I'm really happy for you. You're putting out some cool stuff. That's great.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. And I wish you the best of luck with Eaton. And I want to remind the viewers, if you're just tuning in, you can. Michael's giving away. He's going to give away the audiobook of Eaton. So if you just leave the name of your favorite vegetable in the comments, and he's going to pick a winner this weekend. So don't forget to do that because it's going to be awesome. And I'm making a resolution to not say awesome anymore this show. Anyway.
No problem.
So everyone, check out Michael's fantastic books on Amazon.com, and you can go to his website, michaeltheronn.com. And Michael, you are you still doing? You've had wonderful blog postings there. Are you still working on the site pretty regularly? I know you've had a lot going on. You've had a busy year, even aside from your writing.
Yeah, I'm a pretty busy guy, but I do keep up the blog about 2 posts a week. So I have an editorial post. I write whatever's on my mind around the beginning of the week. And then on Saturdays, I have a segment called Writing in Public, where
I love that.
It focuses on my the things that I do as a part-time writer, because most of us, for the most part, we write part-time, and we all only have so many hours in the day. And I've managed to try to make the most out of my time, and I thought I would try to share that with other people, and maybe they can find something of value out of it. So I do that every Saturday.
Yeah, and honest God, I found value from that because I see how you do it, and again, I work a full-time job, but I'm trying to get my own writing going, and seeing how you're doing it, that's been an inspiration to me because you do have to set yourself on a schedule, and you do have to make that time, even though we've all got stuff going on, but you got to make that time. And hey, people, check out Michael's site. You can be inspired and entertained by Michael Ronn on there. So Michael, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
And everyone who's watched, thank you so much. Like I said, if you're new to the show, this is episode 35. I ask you to please consider subscribing. I do a new show every week. I'm going to have another new show this coming Monday night. I'm going to have 3 authors on Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So more on that later. All right. Thanks again, Michael. And everyone, thank you. Have a great, great night.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
You're welcome. See ya.